In a world obsessed with weapons, one nation chose the jungle over jets, the rainforest over rockets, and life over fear. This is Costa Rica. In 1948, while most countries were rearming for the Cold War, Costa Rica made a decision that stunned the globe. It abolished its military. Not reduced, not reformed, gone. No tanks, no generals, no war ministry, just a simple constitutional amendment. The army as a permanent institution is abolished. What kind of country dares to choose peace when war is profitable? Costa Rica had just emerged from a brief but brutal civil war. President José Figueres Ferrer believed the only way forward was to rewrite the national DNA, to invest in health, education, and nature, not in force. They called it Pura Vida, pure life. A slogan, a mindset. A rebellion against geopolitics? In Costa Rica, it's a national code. To live slowly, love deeply, and resist the temptation of power through violence. While the United States was deep in Cold War paranoia and Europe still wore scars from World War II, Costa Rica built classrooms instead of barracks. Child literacy shot up. Public health care expanded. National parks began to sprout. The peace dividend was real, and Costa Rica wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. Skeptics laughed. No army? You'll be invaded within a decade. Yet decades passed, and Costa Rica never fell. Why? It leveraged soft power and diplomacy. It forged ties with the US, the UN, and the Organization of American States. It hosted peace negotiations for Central America. It turned its neutrality into a brand. Costa Rica became Switzerland with surfboards. And while its neighbors bled in civil wars, Costa Rica hosted refugees, thinkers, and peace talks. What does a country do when it doesn't have weapons? It turns nature into strength. Today, 98% of Costa Rica's energy comes from renewable sources: hydro, wind, solar, and geothermal. The country became a laboratory for green energy, attracting scientists, investors, and futurists. It's not just eco-tourism, it's eco-leadership. In 2024, Costa Rica launched its first AI-powered renewable grid optimization project, helping other Latin countries decentralize energy production and reduce dependence on fossil fuel imports. Our forest is our defense, our rivers are our power, our peace is our platform. Energy Minister 2025. While Washington continues to subsidize an $800 billion military budget, Costa Rica invests in tech startups, AI in agriculture, and regenerative tourism. It trades not in arms, but in sustainable experiences, organic fruit exports, volcano adventures, biodiversity research. Despite global pressure, Costa Rica resists tax incentives. The soul of the streets. Daily life in 2025. From Austin's indie cafes buzzing with freelance coders to Chicago's underground jazz lounges humming against inflation's bite, the American spirit adapts. Inflation-adjusted salaries remain stagnant for 3 years straight, yet remote workers drive new economies in small-town hubs. Amazon's drone delivery reduces urban logistics congestion by 32%. Food delivery AI bots dominate cities while rural areas experience medical AI rollout delays. A mother in Ohio says, "My son's teacher is an AI. He learns faster, but I worry he doesn't feel heard." Beneath Costa Rica's emerald canopy and sunlit beaches lies a rhythm, not just of nature, but of people, passion, and purpose. What fuels this tiny nation's magnetic charm? From football fields to farmers markets, from Caribbean spice to AI startups, this is Costa Rica not as a postcard, but as a pulse. Let's dive into its living, breathing heartbeat. Forget luxury cars or towering skylines. In Costa Rica, wealth is measured by laughter during a meal, by hammock conversations at sunset. The Tico culture, rooted in family, humility, and shared joy, is what the world secretly craves in an age of burnout. Life isn't fast here, it's flavorful. Beans and rice may sound simple, but in Costa Rica, they're poetry. Every gallo pinto plate tells a story of ancestors, of farmers, of rain-soaked fields and open-air markets. In a world divided by conflict, Costa Rica finds unity on the field. When Los Ticos play, the country pauses. From San Jose's skyscrapers to jungle villages, all eyes turn to the pitch. Costa Rica doesn't just preserve nature, it dares you to dance with it. With every zipline, ride, and surf break, a new economy is born, one of adrenaline, ecology, and wonder. But while tourists find paradise, governments play chess. The war in Ukraine? It's felt in Costa Rica. Not with tanks, but in tourism taxes, oil prices, and travel hesitations. To the traveler, Costa Rica is freedom. To the local, it's work, in kitchens, canopies, and hotels. As tourism skyrockets, so do questions. Who really benefits? What happens when a peaceful rainforest nation joins the AI race? Costa Rica's tech sector, young, bold, and green, is its next volcano. As remote workers flood in, a silent transformation begins. Yoga retreats pop up next to banana farms. U.S. political debates echo in Costa Rican cafes. What's being gained? And what's being lost? We've heard from leaders and stats. Now let's hear from the soul, the surfer, the farmer, the cook, the kid. This is not a paradise for sale. It's a homeland with a heartbeat. You've hit subscribe because the real Costa Rica isn't on your postcards. It's in your next question. In a world bracing for turbulence, where climate shocks, economic rivalries, and geopolitical sanctions ripple like waves across every border, there lies a tropical haven, fiercely calm in the eye of the storm. Costa Rica. But even paradise isn't immune from the winds of change. Costa Rica, a country often painted as a picture of serenity, but behind the misty volcanoes and smiling faces lies a daily dance with global volatility. In 2025, rising U.S. interest rates reshaped the dollar-dependent economies of Latin America. Costa Rica, highly reliant on exports, medical devices, tropical fruits, precision tech, found its profit margins squeezed. A simple delay in container traffic due to Red Sea disruptions meant fruit spoiled, deadlines missed, and Tico farmers pushed to their brink. And yet the country held its breath, not collapsing, but recalibrating. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the strength to endure it. Costa Rica's strength, resilience with a smile. In the wake of the ongoing Ukraine war and Russian energy embargoes, the EU turned to Latin America for alternative supply chains. Costa Rica's clean energy appeal positioned it as a logistics jewel, but it came at a cost. The U.S. imposed stricter tariffs on certain biotech exports to protect domestic industries. Meanwhile, Costa Rica's dependence on importing fertilizers and AI chips from U.S. and China meant prices soared 30% year on year. Still, Costa Rica didn't retreat, it pivoted. Investments in AI-driven agriculture increased efficiency. Decentralized solar grids reduced rural energy vulnerability. And in San Jose, an AI tax optimization tool helped local businesses dodge global pricing shocks. When the giants clash, the small must learn to dance in the tremors, and Costa Rica is choreographing a new rhythm of trade. Post-pandemic, Costa Rica emerged as a safe, eco-conscious destination. But with war in Europe and energy scarcity inflating flight costs, international tourism dipped 11%. The solution? A work-from-jungle visa targeting U.S. digital nomads fleeing urban burnout. AI-curated eco-routes, powered by Earth GPT, guided travelers through hidden rainforests, maximizing both time and sustainability. Hotels adopted dynamic pricing using real-time fuel, inflation, and carbon footprint data, making each booking a scientific transaction of ethics and adventure. They came for the waterfalls, but stayed for the Wi-Fi and wellness. Costa Rica's tourism is no longer a service, it's a science. While Europe reels from energy crises, Costa Rica proudly generates 98.1% of its electricity from renewable sources. Hydropower, wind, and geothermal protect it from oil shocks, but not from cyber threats. In 2024, a ransomware attack on Latin America's energy network sent shockwaves across the region. Costa Rica's AI-managed grid, nicknamed Tico Pulse, detected and isolated the threat in 0.06 seconds. Even as the world fears the militarization of AI, Costa Rica wields it like a shield for stability, not supremacy. In a time when war is coded in algorithms, Costa Rica's weapon is wisdom, data deployed with dignity. Beyond GDP or export charts lies the most powerful metric: how the people live. Rent inflation in San Jose rose 18%, driven by expats and global nomads. Farmers in Cartago protested rising seed prices as agro-conglomerates patented hybrid AI-engineered crops. Yet in Monteverde, schools taught climate ethics alongside quantum computing. Costa Rica's soul was never purely economic. It was emotional. A nation that chose not to have an army, but instead armed its youth with education, biodiversity, and empathy. The true economy isn't money, it's meaning. And in Costa Rica, meaning still grows wild in the rainforest. 2025 isn't just another year, it's a fault line in global history. As NATO expands, Russia retaliates with economic shockwaves. Latin America becomes a pressure valve. Costa Rica, nestled between oceans and ideologies, becomes a mediator, hosting peace forums, biodiversity summits, and even AI ethics panels between Chinese and US researchers. It doesn't claim to be a superpower, but in a world starved of balance, it feels like one. In the grand chessboard of nations, not every piece is a king. Some are bridges, and Costa Rica spans continents, conflicts, and futures. You've seen the forests, tasted the gallo pinto, and floated through cloud-kissed valleys. But now comes your choice. Not just to visit, but to invest in a way of life, a new model for civilization. Costa Rica is no longer just a destination, it's a philosophy. Are you ready?